morning. Welcome to Havering Means Business. Hello, Havering. I hope you're doing really well. I'm Chris. We are starting a bit early because we sent an email out yesterday saying that we're going to start a little bit before 10 o'clock, just to let people warm up and get it live and get people in. So we've got a few people joining the room. Dave, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate. How's yourself?
Good. Yeah, actually really, really good. Not too bad at all. Now, I know that biscuits are big in your house. What have you got on the biscuit
I'm actually waiting for them to arrive because the tea's just being made at the moment.
And Cassie, have you got biscuits?
I've got a little treat that our lovely client dropped us in the other day. So I thought I'd better have one before they all disappear.
Well, they were going quick, weren't they, those shortbreads?
Definitely.
Are they being shared though, Chris?
It was funny, Steve, because I tell you what happened. One of our clients. Oh, hey, biscuits, amazing. Can you, Sam, they fit in a jiffy bag, don't they?
No, they just fit in my back pocket. 80 calories, a biscuit.
I know. I shouldn't worry about it. But yeah, we had a client who came in who bought us a bottle of wine, some biscuits, and because he knows I like omelette so much, some spinach and some eggs. And it's definitely the weirdest gift I've ever had from a client, spinach and eggs. It's a bit of a strange one. Right, who else have we got jumped on the call? Carol, morning. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How's everyone? Are we all excited?
Yeah, it's good. Should be a good event. We've got a decent number booked in. Russell is getting super nervous, as he always does, because he always assumes that nobody's going to turn up.
Oh, today we need to see Russell on camera.
Russ, is that ever going to happen?
No, that's not going to happen.
So that's your answer, Carol. It's not going to happen. How's your week been?
Yes, good. Busy, I think. Lots going on. Obviously, we had our candidates that we'd done the bits and bobs for the elections yesterday. So I spoke to a couple of very nervous candidates yesterday. Not yesterday, day before. Didn't want to bother them on the actual election.
On the day.
So yeah, I had to get back in touch with them and find out how they did. Yeah, but they seemed pleased with what we'd done for them, and that they had a good chance of being sure that their message had got out there. So let's hope it's a good result for them.
Well, I suppose when sort of during times of sort of political votes, that your workload gets super busy, isn't it?
Yes, things have changed this year. Quite a lot of the parties have always relied on volunteers, but with COVID restrictions and some different things that have been brought in, they weren't allowed to use volunteers. I know that some parties have got around this by using their councillors who aren't volunteers, but yeah, unfortunately, although it's not the sort of thing you want to benefit from, we did benefit from the fact that they did need to use companies rather than their own volunteers.
Gotcha, makes sense. All right, great. Simon, how are you?
See, I remembered to unmute myself before starting to talk.
I wonder what
You're
the delay was,
aren't you?
I mean, as starts go, it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, it can only get worse or better.
Let's hope not. Yeah. How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, no, it's been good. The beard is less rough now. The hair's more in trim. So yeah, no, everything's good on that front.
So was that a trip to the barbers or was that a DIY job?
I'm into DIY. I know you
love a bit of DIY, but I didn't know whether
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Okay,
yeah, I'll probably end up sort of like having a big V at the back. I won't show you the back, but no, it was a trip out, shall we say? So yeah,
good. Well, I'm pleased. I was quite excited by my first post lockdown trip to the barbers. It was quite an experience. I went for the works as well. Hot towel and sort of flaming the ears and all that sort of job. Did you go for that?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
All right, good stuff. Julie Wedge, how you doing?
Morning. Okay, thank you.
Good. How's your week been?
It's been amazing.
Go and tell us, because we're not doing wins of the week today because we won't have time. So
Okay.
I should have mentioned that, really, shouldn't I? Because I'm sure there's certain people, no names mentioned, Carol, we might want to get their win in the week early. So tell us about your wins of the week.
Well, you know, I went to do a wedding. I was doing a big wedding quote. Yeah, I've won it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
When is it?
massive, and they want a huge installation piece of work. So I'm so chuffed with myself. And they said they went with me because they liked me.
Yeah.
Huge.
How much is just that personal connection? I mean, certainly in our world it is.
Massive.
Yeah.
They got me. There's no fuss. Turned up and was just me.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It. Absolutely. When's the wedding?
The wedding is going to be in July.
Cool. Good stuff. All
Yeah,
right.
so not long.
Yeah. So I mean that industry now is picking up then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have all of their reception, etc. In their home. So yeah, it's going to be lovely.
Oh, great stuff.
My biggest wedding to date, and I've never done an installation before, although I didn't tell them that.
You do realise we've got like 700 odd people in the group. I hope they don't run a business.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So brilliant. Yeah, I'm so
Lovely.
chuffed with myself. So yeah, brilliant.
And before we get too busy, I'd kick myself if I didn't hear Carol's win of the week. So should we go back to Carol quickly and see what her win of the week is?
Chris, have I prepared a win of the week? Of course I haven't prepared a win of the week, but I can ad-lib. It's today. I'm just so excited that, you know, you've got so many people on and it's going to be big and breakout rooms and everything. And yeah, a chance for those of us that are on the premium membership to say why. And so, yeah, just really excited.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Russell is petrified, I think is the word, but we'll see how we get on. Let's say hello to some newbies to a HMB meeting. Paul, how are you, mate? Paul Rogers.
Yeah, very good, thanks, Chris. Very good indeed, Chris. I'm just worried. I'm seeing double of you though.
Right. You are certain. You may be seeing double or potentially triple because Russ is on, who's running the group in the background. So you've probably got a still image of me and one that's moving about just a bit. So yeah, that's the reason for that. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's not been bad, thanks. It's not been bad. I had a few, couple of good inquiries and had a nice sanction for a client at the beginning of the week, so that's good.
Amazing, good stuff. Good to see you, mate. And then we've got Stephen Silver. Steve, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, Chris. Great seeing you again. It's great to see some old faces here. Paul and Julie. I haven't seen Julie for ages.
Awesome. I mean, don't come to your first HMB meeting and start insulting people, mate. Or not so old faces, you mean?
Some old, some good. But no, I haven't been able to come and attend some meetings because I've been too busy. And you know, it's really turned around this year. And
amazing. I'm really pleased to hear it.
But
you know what? You're
not
alone as well. I think, you know, certainly we've had a super busy year, but you know, there's a lot of people that I'm speaking to are really optimistic about the future, and it sounds like sort of it's moving in the right direction, right?
Well, yeah, it surprises me a little bit. I don't know how Paul's finding it. It surprised me a little bit that watching the news over the last couple of days saying how the economy is going to bounce back, you know, really big time. You know, they reckon 7.5% or whatever it is this year. I'm not seeing it, Chris. At the moment, I'm not seeing it. I'm, you know, laying off people left, right, and centre. The businesses are collapsing around my ears, and I just.
But then the challenge is, Steve. I mean, that's your sector, isn't it? People come to you when businesses struggle. So I suppose you're always informed about what's going on in your world. Like in my world, there's a lot of people who are really optimistic and positive about the change they're making in their life, but that's typically to do with the sort of clients we work with. But it's hard to get a really good.
Yeah, I do accept that, but and people are becoming a lot more creative and a lot more diversifying, from what they were originally doing.
Yeah.
But at the moment, regrettably, there's a lot of hardship out there.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. Who else we got on? Karina Lewis, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
You're
I know quite a lot
welcome.
of these faces on here today.
Morning,
Yeah.
Karina.
I don't think we've met, have we, Karina?
No, we haven't met.
So tell me a bit about you.
So I am a cake lady. I make cakes, but I make cakes for everybody. So not only do I do everyday cakes like like what you're used to, but I work with people that have severe allergies and intolerances. So I do things for celiacs, sugar-free, gluten-free, air-free, everything free, dairy-free. So I can do anything and everything. And I've just managed to source the most amazing sugar-free sugar.
So was that sugar-free?
Yeah, sugar-free sugar. Which makes the most amazing icings.
Just out of interest, asking for a friend, do you do cakes for people who will eat a lot of cake and eat anything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can do from the smallest thing to the biggest thing, celebration cakes, everything, afternoon teas, picnic boxes, catering, the whole thing. So yeah.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for coming along to HMB meeting. Hopefully you enjoy it. Who else we got on? We're sort of filling up at pace now. Janet, hello, how are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you. Lovely to see you all.
Good to see you. How's your week been?
Yeah, I think equally, a bit like, listening to sort of a lot of others, we've been really busy and it's quite strange, really. I think doing lots of say our year end we might have in March, people wanting them done now because they want to do things like mortgage applications. So we've seen that real big just change. People's like obviously taking stock and doing different stuff with, some restructuring of businesses and, people starting new businesses. It is a very, very strange time. I've not seen this sort of happen before. It's a strange activity, and obviously on top of that we've still got all the furlough going on, the bane of my life, and grant applications and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty full on for us at the moment.
Good stuff. And I'm going to say hello to a couple more people, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms because literally my screen now is getting too busy to manage. So I'll let somebody else do it for a little while. Heidi, how are you? Is that pronounced? How do I pronounce that?
AD is correct.
Oh, brilliant. That wasn't a bad guess then, was it?
I'm impressed. I normally get Heidi, so I'll take that for sure.
Okay, fair enough. How's your week been?
Really good. Busy. I was back in London for a couple of days, which was very surreal, as the city was very empty. It was a bit bizarre.
Well, I've been, last couple of weeks, I've been in London a few times, but never for work, funny enough. I've been sort of doing the London tourist thing again. So what was it like down there? Quiet?
It was bizarre. I went through Bank, so I walked from sort of St Paul's area back through to Liverpool Street, and I didn't have to look when crossing the roads. It was bizarre. Like, there was no one on the streets. I was actually taking photos to send to my friends to be like, is there a zombie apocalypse I don't know about? Should I be hiding because I'm the only human here?
But the weird thing is, we're not going to get, when we get sort of slowly back to normal, we're never going to see those places quiet anymore, are we?
That's why I needed photographic evidence that I was there at that time.
You know what? I took my youngest daughter was 9, so I took her to, and weirdly, I wouldn't have said this 20 years ago, but I took her round the back of King's Cross, which has all been sort of all been gentrified, and is amazing round the back there. And there's I took my oldest, my teenager, and there's a book, if you're into books, which we are as a family, there's a barge on the Regent's Canal that starts at King's Cross called Word on the Water.
It's the bookshop.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, really
I used to
good.
I used to work in King's Cross in about 2015 as they started to gentrify it. And now it's unrecognisable around there. They've done a really good job. There's some really cool businesses popping up around there as well. So
Google's moved there as well, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
very good to see.
Well, we've got again, we're getting a few people come on. So what I'll ask Russ to do is put people in breakout rooms so we can have a bit more of a intimate conversation, and then we can go from there.
All the rooms were open.
Okay, great stuff. Have you invited people, Russ?
Yeah, I've allocated them their rooms.
And I'm staying in the main room, aren't I?
You are.
Okay. So are you assigning everybody? Yeah. I'm scary. Good stuff. So who have I got left in my little hub? I've got Cassie. I mean,
I'm still here.
I mean, it's not like we spend enough time together, is it? Let's be honest.
Right.
Well, but who have we got? We've got the legendary Andy Furno. How you doing, mate?
Please do not put me on the term of legendary. I'm just a normal fella. I'm no legend. I love my job. I love what I do, but I'm no legend. I don't like that tag.
You're a legend in my eyes, mate.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And not,
thank you, sir.
Not a bad DJ either, apparently.
No, fairly decent according to you. According to you. Let me put the record straight for those who don't know who I am. Of course, I represent St Francis Hospice. That's first and foremost why I'm here. But me and Mr. Dames go back a little way now, and he's interviewed me a couple of times. So he's dug a little deep into my world, and I've been DJing for over 30 years, and I'm a very serious broadcaster on radio these days, I'll have you know.
Yeah, how's the radio show going?
Honestly, Chris, I was only approached last November with the option to do one show. Very quickly, they've pulled me on and do a second show on a Sunday, and now I've just been given primetime slot on a Sunday. So They're moving me to the biggest listener figures on Sunday. So I'm doing a Sunday from this week. It'll be Sunday 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and I do a Monday night 10 p.m. to midnight. So thoroughly enjoying it.
Love it, absolutely love it. And I've got somebody on the call I've never met, but we've engaged with on LinkedIn quite a lot. It's Brian Johnson. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's good to actually join in because you usually meet during school run time, don't you?
Yeah. And tell everybody a little bit about you.
So yeah, I'm currently working as a coach is a very generic term. So really helping people change their mindset, get unstuck where they are at. That's one area sort of I'm working on, and I also do some financial coaching through an organisation called Hatch.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah,
I know some of the guys over there, and that's something probably we could have a conversation about, because as you know, because we've spoke about on LinkedIn, one of the things that we do at Savello is sponsor a classroom of kids every year through a financial education course. Because I think those fundamental financial skills, learning them early, are really important. You know, learning how to manage money at an early age is fundamental.
Yeah, something I'm very interested in. I mean, I'm a school governor at Royal Liberty, and it's just it's a question: how do you get financial education into the schools, and what age do you do it? And there's certainly an opportunity with the year 11s in the last few weeks to do something about that. We're really good.
So the class that we've sponsored in the past is sort of year 9-10. But the challenge you've got is the competing time in the syllabus, isn't it? Because I think it all sits under that sort of social education skill. So yeah, it's interesting how and whether they'd ever incorporate financial education in a bit more of a meaningful way. We'll have to see. Howard, how are you? Morning.
Just come off mute. I'm Howard Swift. Hi, morning to you, Chris. Morning, everybody. I'm head of inclusive growth for the London Borough of Havering. Never having worked as hard in my entire career as the last 12 months. Last day off work was March of last year. I'm only 21, but I'm looking a bit older than that. Right now, so that's the work stuff. I'm really impressed, Chris, by what you've been able to do in pulling this community together. I mean, I know this is communities only work for themselves to make things happen, but they also need leadership. And I tip my hat to you for the leadership that you've been able to bring. I know that I owe you a response to your email from about 3 weeks ago. You should see the 850 unread emails in your inbox to understand why you've not had a reply.
I mean, to be frank, Howard, it's Russell that should take all the credit because he does the actual work. I just get to do this bit and turn up and sort of point in the right direction with Russell doing the actual work. But yeah, no worries about the email whenever you're ready. Talk to me a little bit about how you're doing with the distribution of grants, because last time we spoke, you were in the middle of that, weren't you?
Yeah, and we're still in the middle of it at the moment. We launched a new set of funding streams last Friday. The closing date for some of them are next Friday, and for others the following Friday. Just to give you a bit of a backstory here, we were given £5.191 million in November of last year. We were told that that was the last money that we were ever going to get out of central government, and it had to last until the end of March 2022, and therefore we needed to spread the money thinly so that it would last. 6 weeks later, we were told, here's another 2.3 million, and this is going to be the last money you ever get, and it's got to last, so don't squander it. And then in the budget, the Chancellor then announced a further 1.818 million. But that came with a string, which was to spend the 7.5 million previously allocated by the end of June. And we all know, anybody that's watched Brewster's Millions will know, that you cannot spend a large amount of money safely and quickly at the same time. So this is a massive challenge that we've got to complete the spending of £7.5 million in the next 30.
So Havering's getting their first baseball team ever. Is that the way? If we're going Brewster's Millions, we need to go that way, don't we?
It's that kind of thing, and I only wish it was as easy as that. But the big things are, and my shout out messages this morning are, if you are or you know of any local company in the supply chain of sectors that have been required to close and you've suffered massively, I'll give you I can't name a particular example, but let me give you a hypothetical one.
Howard, I'll tell you what might be best, mate. If we do that when we invite everybody else into the room, so that we'll make sure you get a shout out for that. But I just want to make sure we've only got a few minutes left. I want to make sure we speak to everybody. Renee, are you around? She's not, and I think. We've got Julie Bell as well, who's on. Let's take a look. And we've got Julie. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm having a good morning so far. I'm enjoying myself. How's your week been?
Oh gosh, it's been really, really hectic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna come out of this room because there's loads of people talking on the phone. It's been mad. We've got a mortgage advice webinar next Thursday at 4 o'clock. So we've had so many inquiries. It's been frantic trying to get all the replies out, making sure that the Zoom links are all going out and that people can all join. But
you know what? It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think people underestimate when you're organising stuff like this how much sort of effort at the back end it takes, right?
Absolutely. And the other thing as well is, I had a meeting yesterday with a couple of guys who want to start doing seminars here with us at the office, because where we're placed is beautiful. Yeah. We've got the venue, and they came in for what I thought was just like a 20-minute chat. It was here like an hour and a half, and we've got a seminar booked in the diary.
Oh, cool.
For the 7th of July. So
I know our conversation this week had to be a bit short because my diary's been a bit crazy this week, but certainly that's something we'll talk about in the future if that's okay.
Yeah, listen, this is what you're doing with this group is absolutely fantastic, and I'm not being all fluffy. It really is. It's great to see so many people coming together.
Yeah, it's good. I'm liking it. It's good, but that's more down to the community than me. I'm just the bloke at the front who just sort of shouts and nods a bit. So all good. Yeah. Kieran, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me, Chris?
I can, mate. Yes.
Can you? Oh, you can. Sorry, so I'm having troubles with my laptop this morning. Everything seems to want to update itself. But
That's the challenge we've got. We're so reliant on technology now, but it goes right. I mean, if my laptop goes down halfway through, this meeting's a failure. You know what I mean? It's just, we're too reliant on it. How's your week been, mate?
It's been very good. I've been doing a lot of gardening this week. We've just launched our garden project at Havering Mind, and we've been out and about. I've been getting all of my volunteers together, digging up weeds and moving rubble and everything like that. So it's been quite a challenging week, but certainly rewarding. They've made
funny enough, I think Andy might have got the same message, but I can't do the day that the guys at the round table want to come down and help out. Funny enough.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. We got plenty of dates. I thought I'd put it out there with them next week, but there's plenty of dates in the future. So
yeah, and to be frank, mate, my practical skills are zero, so I'm probably doing more damage than good. Yeah, so thanks for coming along. We'll get everybody back in to explain what they're up to in a minute. Let's have a quick chat with Renee. Renee, how are you?
Chris, I'm going to close the breakout rooms in 5. So.
Make it 2, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Cheers. Renee, how are you? You're on mute. First time I've had to say it today. No, there's no answer on that. We'll talk to Paul instead. Paul, I know we had a brief chat earlier on. Tell me what's going on in your world at the minute.
Going on in my world, I suppose I'm actually starting to see more inquiries for commercial borrowing facilities than I have for some time. But I suppose, if I'm honest, the business crashed last year. Rightly so, the government came out and offered businesses borrowings where it was interest-free for 12 months. There's no arrangement fee, and you haven't got to pay anything back for 12 months. So
yeah. So how can you compete with that, right? Yeah. I suppose the interesting thing, and something I've got an eye on in my world as well, because of where my clients' money's invested, is commercial property. Because if the way we work is changing and has changed already, do you think there's going to be an impact in the commercial property space?
I do, and it's something I've been thinking about for some months, to be honest with you, Chris. Certainly from a number of businesses I speak to and a number of banks I speak to, they can't see there being a demand for all their staff to go back in every single day of the week, Chris.
Yeah.
So it's then a question, well, do you have certain staff in on certain days? Do you then need that much workspace? Do you share it with someone else, or what do you do?
Yeah.
And that also comes out for the smaller business as well. If you've got an office for 20 staff, and for argument's sake, you only want them in 1 day a week, well, what do you do the other 4 days a week? Do you then sort of sublet it? But I suppose the other thing to also think about, and I spent donkey's years, working for NatWest, is, I mean, they've got commercial properties all over the place. And at one stage, they had 3 massive buildings within spitting distance of Liverpool Street.
Well, I mean, because as you know, I had a little stint at RBS as well, and that one on the corner by Bank Station is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you think if a business like that could get permitted development rights to turn that into resi,
yeah,
and there's a never-ending demand for resi. So you think somewhere along the lines, the council is going to have to start to play ball where people don't need to go into the office so much. There's less demand for the office space, yet there's still a heavy demand for resi. So why not start to permit some of these to be changed?
I think you're right, actually. I mean, I've said this before. I've got a client who works sort of one of the managing directors at a large financial institution. They're just getting rid of their they're just getting rid of one of their floors near Liverpool Street, and that's saving them a couple of million quid a year. So you look at that and you say, well, actually, how many large corporates are going to be doing that? And I reckon quite a lot.
Yeah, well, one of my good friends runs a large successful business. They've just made premises, which cost them 300 grand a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it is a big difference.
Everything from home, we're going to find some office space where they can go in once or twice a week.
Yeah, I suppose the other element is creating the environment where there is a bit more of a community as well. So, I mean, we've moved back into the office because we want that engagement. But
Of course, yeah.
I think the way that that's going to work is going to be a bit different. Russ, can you do me a massive favour and mute everybody? Would that be all right?
That's going to mute you as well, so be ready to unmute yourself.
It's not the worst idea in the world, let's be honest. I'm going to unmute, okay, and thank you for everybody, and I'm going to share my screen quickly. Thank you everybody for coming along to Havering Means Business. Hello Havering, if my presentation actually works. Yes, it does. Hello Havering. A few things that I want to talk about today. Firstly, I want to hear from you. We are a community. We want to hear from members of the community to see what you're up to. And the bulk of this meeting, the bulk of the time of this meeting is going to be spent talking to you about what you're up to. Next, we're going to explain a little bit about us, Havering Means Business, why we set the community up and what we're aiming to achieve. Talk a little bit about what we've done since we launched in October last year. Talk about what we're planning moving forward, and talk about how, if you want to be more actively involved as a premium member, how you can benefit. But the first thing I want to do, and I need to make sure that I give everybody the opportunity to tell us a little bit about their business. So if I don't, because there's a lot of people on the call, make sure you put your hand up and let me know that I haven't at the end. Let's talk to you first and see what's going on in your world. And it doesn't like being called this, but I'm going to say it again. Let's start with a legend that is Andy Furneaux. Andy, tell me about what's going on in your world, mate.
I'll tell you what would be great, Chris, if you actually said Furneaux. That would be lovely.
Now, the weird thing is, Andy, you really you get my name right. I will get it right one day. Not today, clearly.
All right, Chris. Listen, I'll explain it to you like this. It's a French name, right? So think along the lines of Chateau, Gâteau, Furneaux. But I was born at Acne Hospital, so that's as French as you're going to get. So,
yeah.
Okay, Chris, things are really, really moving very fast here at St Francis Hospice. For those of you I've never met before, I'm into my 10th year as part of the fundraising team at St Francis Hospice. As regards what we're doing with fundraising, it's moving very quickly. We've gone from people doing lots of things in isolation to the mass participation events looking like they're coming back. So if that's your bag and if that's what you like to do, a challenge event, then I will put my email address in the chat later, because we have lots coming up, from skydives to cycles to Paris to runs. If you like the Havering half, you can do that for the hospice. So it's things like that we've got going on. But the most exciting thing I want to tell you guys about today, because I know you've got so many to talk about. So many of you will have heard of or may even know Mr. Mike Brace. Mr. Mike Brace lives in Hornchurch. He's a Havering man. But if you actually look at Mike Brace's career, he's a celebrity, and nothing short of a celebrity. For those of you that don't know, he was blinded at the age of 10 in a firework accident, but that's not held him back from having a wonderful life. He's a former Paralympian. And very long story short, he came to a virtual thank you evening that St Francis Hospice put on to thank our supporters. And Mike was really impressed with the format. And because he can't do his dinner circuit at the moment with his speeches, where he donates money to us, he's come to me and said, Andy, let's do an evening with Mike Brace. So, ladies and gents, that's taking place on the 2nd of June. It's a Wednesday. I shall put the link in the chat. It's only £10 a ticket. Whatever is your bag, whether it's a glass of red wine, a bottle of beer, or a packet of KP peanuts, get them, because you are in for one hell of an interesting evening. This man is nothing short of amazing, and he wants to share his stories and raise some money for St Francis Hospice. How great is that?
Yeah, great stuff, Andy. And I'll be along, and we'll make sure that when this video goes out on the Facebook group after, every link that you share will also be on the video. So we'll make sure that that's done. And speak to us about making sure we promote that more actively on the group, please, Andy, because we want to do that.
Thank you so very much, Chris. And I echo what the other guys have said. What you're doing for this community and pulling us all together, you know, big thanks to you and Russ, Cassie, the whole crew. Havering Means Business, all this together, it's just fantastic. We're all coming together. We're putting ourselves on the map.
Love it. Thank you, Andy. Really appreciate that. Brian Johnson, talk to me about what's going on in your world.
Hi. Yeah, thanks, Chris. So Yeah, so I'm quite new to this self-employed world, having I spent 30 years in financial services. I'm really now focusing on my passion in coaching and mentoring people. So I'm working with people who are feeling stuck and frustrated where they are in their lives, and just helping them create change. And often that's just around changing the language people use to talk about themselves and asking them questions they never ask themselves. It's really quite a powerful way of changing the way people think and work.
Brian, quick question for you.
Yep.
I've certainly found, I mean, certainly in our world, as you know, there's an element of coaching. We're not coaches, but there's an element of coaching. I found that the last year has sort of really had a fundamental impact on how people are perceiving their futures. How has that manifested in your world, work-wise?
Yeah, so yeah, there I think an awful lot of people have realised they're just on a path they're not happy with, and so people are going, well, why am I doing this? What, this is what I want. What do I want to do? And so you sort of create lots of opportunities, because people know they are unhappy and they don't want to continue what they were doing, but they don't know how to change.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
They get stuck. They get stuck in a mindset. They just need to change their mindset to
and helping somebody get unstuck is super important, isn't it? So thanks,
Definitely,
Brian. Really appreciate it. And thanks for coming along to the event. Steve Silver, talk to me about what's going on in your world, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I had to be pulled away just now because I'm dealing with unfortunately, a mental institution up in Norwich, where we've had to lay off 120 staff. And we're getting obviously a lot of employment issues. A lot of staff who are Polish are asking for what their entitlements are as far as redundancy and notice pay and so forth. People that don't know me, I'm an insolvency consultant, so I help people try and avoid bankruptcy and liquidation, whether they're business owners or individuals. And most of my work is coming from existing contacts that I've made over many years. And I said, this job is very, very time consuming. So a lot of my networking has been put to one side. I said, I've been on site quite a few days up in Norwich, and we've got 10 patients still on the premises. So we haven't been able to lay off all the staff, because that involves therapists, other doctors, support workers. So, and these individuals who are there need 24-hour care. So, we've got about 60 or 70 staff still on the premises looking after just 10 patients.
And I suppose it's getting the balance right, isn't it? And making sure that you do it in the right way. Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate that. We'd love to chat further, but we've got quite a lot of people on this club.
It's great, isn't it? Great.
It's good stuff. Paul, I feel like we've spoken 4 or 5 times now, Paul, but you might as well have your minute, right, mate?
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I'll be as brief as I can. I suppose, because I'm a commercial finance broker dealing with all types of business finance, I've started to see an increase over the last few months in those clients wanting commercial mortgage or semi-commercial property mortgages, etc. And don't get me wrong, it's tough out there to get finance at the moment, especially on the business front, and especially with the high street lenders who, because of what's gone on, have reduced their loan to values and a lot stricter. But I suppose it's perseverance and helping the customers out. And an example that comes to my mind at the moment, very strong business, wanted to buy their own commercial property instead of renting, came to me through a third party, got them some quotes from various lenders. It was strange, they didn't want to go to their own bank. Obviously they weren't happy with their own bank for various reasons. So in the end they came to me. I got quotes from 3 high street banks, said this is the options we've got. And then I went back to one of the high streets, Chris, which probably most customers wouldn't do, and said, look, you can do a better deal than that. It's a very strong case. What can you do? And they suddenly cut their interest rate on the deal by 0.9%.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
And over the 20-year term, Chris, it saved them 81 grand.
You know what, I mean, we could talk about this in a bit more depth, but I've had a similar thing with one of my clients where we've kept them with the same provider and saved them 1%. And it's always worth having an intermediary make those challenges, isn't it? Have somebody on your side who knows what they're talking about.
The thing that helps from my perspective is I can say, well, okay, this lender also wasn't charging him an arrangement fee, which saved him another 10 grand compared to the other lenders. I go, well, actually, this is what I've got on the table from Bank A and Bank B. How serious do you want it?
Yeah,
if you don't,
agreed.
it's fine. It's your call. You're lending the money. It's not me.
Great stuff. Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate that. Kieran, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world, mate.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm from Havering Mind. So we're a local mental health charity. We do obviously support people in the local area that's going through problems. As you can imagine, in the past year, we've seen quite a significant increase in the numbers of people that have obviously been isolated, and it's caused them to feel depressed and anxious and things like that. My primarily role at the charity is to do fundraising, and it's to do events. In the past year, for obvious reasons, we haven't had any events, but I'm really looking forward to the coming year, where we've got all of our events hopefully back. In the summer, we do a big summer event, which is a tribute festival / family festivals, really big event that we're doing in August. We're also doing the Havering Half Marathon. We organise that in September, and then we have Havering Christmas Land in December as well. So hopefully I'm very positive that all of these will take place now that the COVID situation seems to be significantly better. So if any of you want to get involved at all, or sponsor, or get your businesses involved, or other charities involved, then yeah, give me a shout.
Amazing, Kieran. And I am doing the Havering Half, and I've done it before, and I'd encourage anybody who likes running, like Carol and I, to certainly get involved in that. Renee, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for inviting me along today.
No, you're more than welcome. Now, we've already established I'm really bad with French names, right? Clearly. So just make sure that I'm pronouncing that right. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
thank you. Tell us a little bit about you and your business.
So I do social media marketing, and I manage social media for businesses who are too busy to manage it themselves. And that's anything they need, from creating the content so they don't have to worry about that, to tweeting, posting, sharing information on Instagram, liaising with groups and potential clients on LinkedIn, anything that they need. I also coach people. So if people are managing their social media well themselves, but need a little bit of assistance in the right direction, I help with that.
Amazing.
So, apologies if I'm dipping in and out. My internet's unstable, and I've got the puppy here today. A little bit boisterous in the background.
I thought I heard a sort of bit of a tail wag, but you've got about a minute left on your on your time. So tell us the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to social media.
The biggest mistake that people make is not engaging properly and missing opportunities. So my biggest tip, and I apologise to those of you that have heard me say this before, is on LinkedIn, your notifications tell you when it's somebody's birthday. And that is a fabulous opportunity to send them a message. And if you met them at a networking event 2 or 3 years ago or 10 years ago, and you've pretty much forgotten who they are, chances are they've forgotten you. But a quick happy birthday, and they're going to look at your profile and remind themselves who you are, what you do, see your skills, see why you're a fabulous business to be connected to, and get the conversation going.
Amazing. That's a really good tip. Thank you so much. Now, I know the next person I'm going to speak to is really disappointed in me at the minute, because I haven't done a really good Hello Havering in the run-up to this presentation. That's right, Tracy, isn't it?
You're correct.
So show us how it's done before we move on.
I'm disappointed. Don't get me to do your dirty work. Do it yourself.
All right, here we go. Hello, Havering. No, actually, I can't do it.
Hello, Havering.
That's how you do it. Welcome to Hello Havering, everybody. Tracy, do you, instead of just sort of doing the jazz hands, do you want to tell everybody about your business as well?
I'm just so happy. I'm not a dancer, even though I did do hip hop fit this morning. I'm all chipper, a little bit.
Hip hop fit sounds good.
Hip hop fits, yeah.
That sounds really good.
Keep moving with the grooving. So anyway, other than dancing, I'm a digital marketer and website designer based here in Hornchurch, and I work with Chris, who's not here, and it's not that Chris. And we work for people that are local, businesses of all shapes and sizes that want websites designed, redesigned, content written, social media. We're going to be talking to Renee somewhere around here in a couple of weeks. And what else we do? Video, printing, logo design. We do lots and lots of things. So whatever you need to improve your online visibility, get in touch.
Amazing. Thank you, Tracy. Really appreciate that. Julie Wedge, how are you doing? Tell us about what you're up to.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, Julie from Flower Shed. I'm a small florist based in Hornchurch. I work from home and it's really great because I don't have overhead, so that's smashing. Yeah, I do flowers for all occasions, and it's really, really nice to see that weddings are coming back into full swing. Hopefully, Chris.
Yeah, it looks good, and we'll hear from you a little bit later on. So thank you so much for that.
Okay.
Really appreciate that. Now I know that this isn't your name, but this is what's on your Zoom sort of banner. Jackie, it says Jackie Designed, but you can tell us your full name and what your business is about.
Hi, no, it's my company. I'm Jackie Plant from Design to Sell.
Right. Hi, Jackie. Now, Jackie, I do know who you are now. Now you've said that. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, we're just home stagers. So we help people sell their home by sort of decluttering, taking in furniture and making it look the best of the space that you possibly can, so people can understand the lifestyle you can have.
How's life been for you recently?
Well, it was tough last year, obviously, because you couldn't go in people's homes. It's picking up this year. It's definitely picking up, but it's still slowly getting there.
Well, great to have you along, and thanks for coming along to an HMB meeting. Heidi, talk to me. I mean, we've had a little chat about books and bookshops already, but talk to me about what's going on in your world work-wise.
So I am a freelance digital marketer. I specialise in SEO, content writing and social media. But I'm mainly here to be the Essex Collective, which is a little Instagram page that I run, and I promote small businesses for free. We're quite new. We've only got 1,200 followers, but we share your businesses for free. And then I run marketing masterclasses also for free, normally on a Thursday evening. And we've done Instagram masterclasses. We've done scheduling on how to free up your time. We've got some photography ones come in, and all sorts. So yeah, I basically help small businesses with their social media as my full-time job. Then I also do the Essex Collective on the side for free, because there's lots of new businesses popping up around. I'm in Hornchurch, so where we are, and they had no idea how to use social media to sell. So I just give them some hints and tips for free, which has been really, really wholesome. I've met some incredible people, so it's been really great to be able to meet lots of lovely people.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one of the benefits about doing stuff in the community, isn't it? Because we have got an amazing community in Havering. Often that's not shouted about enough. So thank you for the work you're doing. It's brilliant. Rianne, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I've got this is. I mean, Russell, who helps me run this group, is probably a little bit more scared than me about how today's going. So you better ask Russ as opposed to me. But I think it's going all right. Do you?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think
cool. Amazing. Tell us a little bit about your business.
So I'm Rianne. I work for Kickstart Britain, and we are a gateway for the government's Kickstart scheme. So I was saying in the breakout group that right now what we're trying to do is really trying to raise awareness about the scheme and how it can benefit businesses. I think initially it was available for only large companies, but now it's been made available for small businesses. So that could be sort of like a one-man business or people with 2 or 3 employees on payroll. And then what we can do is we help to get young people into work. So we offer 6-month placements across any industry.
Yeah.
Where they're basically able to build career skills and gain experience, and also it's a great helping hand to any businesses who might need staff, because things are picking up a little bit now as well. So
and interestingly, I mean we've looked at Kickstart at Savello. Help me understand where you're finding the sort of the most popularity in terms of the Kickstart scheme. Any particular sector, any particular business size? What's happening with that?
To be honest, I think everybody has been reaching out, actually. I haven't really noticed any particular trend. I think as soon as people understand the scheme and they know what it's about, everybody is involved. We have sort of IT companies, we've had yoga studios, we've had construction, it's a bit of everything really.
Amazing. Thank you for coming along and welcome to the community. Karina, how are you? Tell us about your lovely cakes.
Hi, yeah, I'm good. Lovely cake. So from the smallest cake like cupcake or even chocolate truffle to the large celebration cakes. I don't touch wedding cakes, I have to say, too much fuff for me. But I will do all the celebration cakes for kids and anniversaries and birthdays and all sorts. Absolutely love it. Can do all sorts of things, vegan, gluten-free together, sugar-free. So it's getting out there and letting people know that they can still have their cake and eat it and enjoy it. And it doesn't, it doesn't taste like cardboard. Like,
can I have extra sugar in my cake? Because you must be
have extra. Yeah, you can have extra sugar, and you can have all sorts of lovely flavourings from gin to bubble gum.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Amazing. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Okay. Ian, talk to me about what's going on in your world, mate.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, everyone. Ian Bracer from iBray Limited. I am your local change and compliance expert. Just helping actually a life coach sort out their GDPR stuff at the minute. Once you open the lid to Pandora's box, you kind of start delving in and say, oh dear. But no, it's really interesting. It's the first sole trader that I've actually helped, which is made my job a little bit more tricky. When you're dealing with limited companies, it's quite easy to write documentation. When you're working
I'd imagine interestingly, the working with the sole trader is fundamentally more important because there's no limited liability. That individual is responsible for doing that stuff, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ian. Really appreciate that, mate. Sharon, my friend Sharon, how are we doing? Sharon Brower.
Struggling with the unmute button again.
Great stuff. We like that. We like that.
Yeah, it's the best bit when I'm quiet, hey?
Well, look, no, I mean, Russ said that before. I wouldn't possibly want to comment. Do you know what I mean? But you need to tell out for Russ. Tell us what's going on in your world.
I'm all good, thank you. I've had a busy week this week. It's been a bit manic with VAT returns. And I think we had this conversation in the breakout room, a client and managing client expectations, which is just an enormous thing. So I don't normally deal in paperwork. Everything is digital. And I've got one particular client who at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night landed 3 credit card statements, pages and pages long, and all the attachments on paper on my doorstep and said, I'll have that by Thursday, won't I? No, you won't.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, in both our worlds, there's an element of client education, isn't there? That's setting expectations in a way that's realistic.
Absolutely. And you do your best for your clients, you always do. However, we're not magicians. We are only human beings with 2 hands. And when you land a whole load of paper on my door as opposed to digital images, that's going to take a whole lot longer. So I was a bit naughty and I've picked out the bits I needed for his VAT return, and the bits where there are no VAT implications, I've left. And I said, right, I've done what I can. I can't do any more now. So over to you. So the point for him is he sees there's stuff undone. I know it has no VAT implications, but he knows there's stuff I haven't done because he's given it to me at a ridiculous hour.
Yeah. So the key factor is when you're working with your accountant, make sure you give them enough time to manage it sensibly. Thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate that. And I didn't plan this, but it's just the way the boxes lined up. We've got another accountant, and the weird thing is, right? They're both wearing headsets. Is it, Janet? Is it an accounting thing that you got to wear a headset?
Absolutely. Did you not know that?
I didn't realise that was part of the professional body's rules.
Absolutely.
You go on a Zoom call, you got to wear a headset.
Definitely.
Written in the code of conduct.
This is the one. Yes. definitely. I know. And I was actually thinking, as Sharon was saying about her lastminute.com clients, yeah, we've got a few of them. And equally, we were under this exactly being VAT day today for the end of March. We were under exactly the same pressures, or should I say, poor Mel is here, who was pulling her hair out the last couple of days. So yeah, we do. I think the best will in the world. You try to get these all. We spend sort of 3 months chasing them. Can we have this? Can we have this? And then, you know, on that 11th hour, they say, "Oh, here it is."
By the way, you got a day to do it. There you go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But Joyce, but yeah, it's always a challenge. We do try to educate, but it doesn't always pan out.
So do you want to tell the room and the Facebook group a little bit about your business?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, you know, similar to Sharon, small business advisors as far as accountancy and tax. You know, I think we probably err on the sort of small business that is just starting out, so we can support their journey right from the beginning. So, you know, we quite like to get at that stage. Having said that, you know, we'll pick up if someone's sort of mid journey. But yeah, so I think we tend to be small limited companies, you know, sole traders across a variety of sectors. We like that bit of variety going on, so we think that complements each. We tend to sort of try and connect up clients if we can as well, so that's quite nice. Yeah, so that's all keeps us pretty busy at the moment.
And certainly from our perspective, in terms of supporting our clients and our professional network at Savello, we've referred clients to both Sharon and Janet in the past because they really know their stuff and they're lovely to work with, which meets at least 2 of our criteria in terms of working with our clients. So
thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Simon Lewin, how are you, mate?
See, twice in one day, I've actually unmuted myself before starting.
It's always a good start. Always a good start.
Yeah, it's all going to go horribly wrong.
No, hold on. Carol's just given you a round of applause for that. It weren't that impressive, Carol. Let's be honest. I mean, all he's doing is unmuting himself.
Do you want a rerun? It was good in my world.
Tell us about what you're up to work-wise, mate.
Right. Okay. For the people who don't know me, my name on the bottom of some of the box says Simon Lewin, and I work for an organisation called East London Business Place. Thank you for the opportunity of being here today. 10 of you already know me because 10 of you already work with me or have worked with me, obtaining free business support through our Building Legacies programme. The Building Legacies programme is a funded programme, which means that someone is putting money forward. And thank you, Howard, for that. Howard is from Havering Council, and Havering Council is one of our funders to deliver that service to clients. The sorts of things that we've been focusing on for the last few months have actually been revolving around how to support businesses through difficult times, trying to help them in terms of responding to discretionary grants, also dealing with being an accountability partner. It can be very lonely running a business, and sometimes it's not just the business, it's the business owner. They might be working at home, have no one to talk to, or their family doesn't get it. Sometimes they want someone who's not financially or emotionally attached to the business to run some ideas across. The other thing that we do pride ourselves on is trying to connect people and try and share business. Again, we don't gain anything out of it, but you do. So that's what we do. Our process is that if you are formed in some way or other, you're located in a London-based borough, we will ask you to register. We will then do a business review with you, which will actually show where you're at the moment and where you want to be. And it's sometimes not all about money. It's, you know, maybe making the business a little bit bigger, taking some of the pain away, making sure you're compliant with new legislation. And then on the basis of that, we have different options, which is support from people like myself. We do webinars and workshops. We will be going to tender, by the way, for some external trainers. So if you're in the market of promotion of social media, websites, have a look. I'm not sure what's going to be put out in terms of the tender, but make sure you're connected with us via LinkedIn. And and have a look at our website, the Building Legacies website.
Amazing, Simon. Oh, sorry, I'm just conscious of time, mate.
One
So,
quick thing, just to say thank you very much indeed for choosing this week, which is Time for a Cuppa week. So it's very apt that you've chosen to do that. And obviously bear in mind, next week is Mental Health Awareness Week. So again, that's really important when you're looking at your own well-being.
yeah, 100%. And as business owners, we need to make sure we're looking after ourselves to do that. So great point. Tony, talk to me about what's going on in your world, mate.
Hi, Chris. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so obviously, as you see, my name's Tony. I work for a company called Let's Sanitize It. We're a family-run business. We operating out of Romford, and we specialise in mass hygiene solutions. So we range from wheelie bin sanitisation to biofogging or disinfectant biofogging, which is obviously regarding the COVID outbreak. So, yeah.
Busy times then, I'd imagine.
Very, very. In the chat I was in previously, I was saying to the guys in there, it was, the last sort of 15, 16 months have been manic for us. So, yeah, like I say, I appreciate jumping on this today. I think it's great for everyone to actually,
100%. And just, Tony, one thing I just want to check, mate. What are the sort of companies you're working with?
We do. We cover both domestic and commercial. So we go into football clubs. We have numerous football clubs ranging from sort of League 2 to Championship level. The NHS, we've been in numerous private healthcare sectors. But we also do domestic also. So for guys like yourself, if there's anyone that's been in contact or had anyone that's been in contact with coronavirus, we go in and disinfect houses. And on the flip side to that, we do a wheelie bin cleaning service also.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate that. And thanks for jumping on the call. Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Steve Chilton, how you doing, mate? Tell us about what's going on in your world.
Hey, good morning, guys. If people don't know me already, I'm Steve from ERB Commercial Risk. We're a family-run commercial insurance broker, set up in 2014. It's been really busy for us, guys. There's a variety of words I would probably describe the insurance market: challenging, difficult, awkward on occasion. Yeah, it's keeping us busy, but yeah, what I say, we're doing extremely well. We're growing year on year out. So yeah, it's all good from our side of it at the moment.
Great stuff. And in terms of your growth, is that coming from a particular sector, or is it just across the board at the minute?
Well, we don't. I think probably it's a failure on our part. We don't do an awful lot of social media marketing, which we probably should do. Most of our business is through referral and recommendation, and a lot of organic growth from the companies we've been on our books for a number of years. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we do all manner. We've got manufacturing, we've got leisure, we've got haulage, we've got logistic operators. There's a whole myriad of different type of whether it be construction led, whether it's property based or liability or motor. We have a bit of a mixed match. So.
And we better have a chat about biscuits while we're here. I mean, what biscuits have you got? Just out of interest.
They are Mars cookies. So yeah.
Decent biscuit game. I like it.
In fairness, the missus excelled herself today, so I'll give her a choose.
Well done, Sam. I mean, we know what's going to happen, Steve. She'll be watching on the Facebook group, and we'll get some sort of comment.
I'm waiting for it. So she can't do me on the footwear today, so it's fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, you've got actual shoes on, have you? That's good. That's a good sign. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Steve, sorry, I've done Steve. Sarah Johnson, how are you?
Morning, Chris and everyone. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I run Clarendon Hill Properties, so that's a sales and lettings agency. So do sales, lettings management, all of that. But additionally, I sell properties abroad, currently in Jamaica and St. Lucia, but looking to extend that to other Caribbean islands as well as Ghana.
And how's business at the minute?
It's not too bad. I mean, I'm really trying to focus on the overseas, but obviously with the, with lockdowns and obviously borders being closed at the moment, that's made things a bit difficult and slowed things down quite a bit. But hopefully in the next few weeks, things will be opening up a bit more, because I know there's a lot of people chomping at the bit waiting to to go have had their tickets cancelled and rebooked and cancelled and rebooked, and you know they're waiting to go. So things, you know, on that side should be picking up soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. So
and I know when you post on the group, particularly in the on the properties in the Caribbean, there is a like sort of bit of jealousy that goes on, saying I love Havering, but you know, sitting on an island in St Lucia sounds all right as well, right?
yeah, you can definitely buy one, Chris, and everyone as well.
All right,
Yeah,
Sarah, thank you. I mean, Cassie is on the call, Sarah, so don't give her any ideas.
I'll direct message her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in trouble now. Carol Hasley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Tell us about your business.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Carol, and with my husband Martin, we run Door to Door. We're a leaflet distribution company. We live and work in Romford, but we cover all over really, Romford and Hornchurch, and then all of the IG postcodes, everything in that direction as well. And yeah, we do as it says really. We print, we design, we print, we distribute your leaflets. It's just an alternative way really of getting a message out there. As much as everything's online now and everything's on social media now, you know, it really is a great way to just physically get something through people's doors. And yeah, it really works. I just made a note of a few customers even from the last couple of weeks, estate agents, lots of garden care, because it's that time of year, we're all sorting out our gardens again. Beauty and hairdressers, obviously they've just had a really hard time being closed. We've just done all the political parties, Havering Council, so yeah, busy.
Good stuff, and great to hear it. We'll hear a little bit more about your involvement in the community a little bit later on. Now, I better not leave her last, otherwise I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Cassie, how are you?
Oh, hello.
I knew you were there. I mean, I just... and we won't talk about your right move addiction on the call, because that'd just be fun. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to business-wise.
So I have recently taken over looking after the protection side of our business. I've launched a new website this year called Cervelo Protect. I've been busy doing some general networking in and around Essex and just trying to find some new clients that maybe haven't got any protection in place for their family, or have protection in place that they've had for quite a number of years and haven't had it reviewed recently.
Yeah, and I suppose the other thing to mention is, you know, the work that you've been doing with my clients to support them protect their businesses as well, right?
Yes, definitely. So, yeah, it's not just family protection that we're looking at. We also, we've recently had a client who wanted to put some shareholder protection in place for him and his business partner. Which we managed to find them a very competitive plan. We never say cheap, because cheap doesn't always mean good. So yeah, we managed to find them a really, really good plan, make sure that all the right trust documents were in place to ensure that both of them were covered and everything was equal. I've also recently done some quotes for a young fam. I say young, they're younger than us, Chris.
That's getting increasingly less difficult though, Kaz, let's be honest.
They had cover in place, which they took out when they took out their original mortgage, and it was just so unfit for purpose. Yes, and a lot of things have changed since that. They'd had 2 children, remortgaged, and the plan that they had just wasn't right for them anymore. So
and the key factor on that is making sure that, thanks Cassie, the key factor on that is making sure that if you've got plans that are designed to protect your family, you review them on a regular basis. The trusts are in place to protect your family, but more importantly, and as importantly, you've got your wills in place and lasting powers of attorney attorney, which is why I think he's still on the call. We're going to go to James Scurfield and hear what he's up to at the minute.
Thank you very much, Chris. What a great intro.
Do you like that seamless link, James?
Yeah. Give me your bank.
Not so seamless.
After the meeting, give me your bank details and I'll transfer you some money for that. That was incredible.
No worries. Job done.
Really appreciate it. No, lovely catching up with everyone. And I think Andy mentioned it earlier, Chris, you're doing really great work building and connecting everyone together. So, congratulations, and I do appreciate it. And I love your general energy as well. So thank you very much.
Mate. Appreciate that.
We specialise in wills and estate planning, and as Chris said, it's important to protect you and your loved ones now and in the future, to constantly make sure your wishes are up to date. We liaise really well with people like Chris, mortgage brokers, accountants, just to make sure that as and when things do happen, like, what is it, about 160,000 have died of COVID. The word COVID didn't exist 2 years ago. Things do happen. If you've got young children under 18, please legally appoint guardians, okay? Because if anything does happen, I don't want social services getting involved and taking control of the children before the families dispute things. We can do very simple wills, we can do complex wills, we can then deal with clients with multiple £1 million of properties and assets. So real varied service. We don't charge for any advice, any consultations. You don't even have to use us, but if you know a little bit more, then you're educated and then you can make those decisions. I'd be really keen to connect with Andy, and I love the story about Mike Brace. And I'm guessing, Andy, the headline of that will be "Brace Yourself." No,
actually, he's even more intelligent than that. He's had 3 guide dogs, and his current guide dog is called King. So his latest book is called The King and I.
Ah, brilliant.
Like it. And you can't beat a good pun. Thank you, James.
Yep.
We're just conscious of time, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, cool. No, cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Great to see.
I'll put my details in there.
Amazing, and we'll make sure that when this goes out on replay on the Facebook group, that gets shown. Good. Howard, are you around? He's around. He's good. Howard,
I am indeed around. I've been saving my my internet connectivity, and I'm joined this morning by Eddie.
Oh, hi, Eddie.
Yeah, I know. Eddie helps in all of our work. He really ought to have a staff badge himself. Being a black and white dog, he very often disappears into Zoom background.
I think Eddie should have the definitive decision on all grant claims, Howard.
Absolutely.
What do you reckon?
So I work for the London Borough of Havering. I'm head of inclusive growth or economic development, or whatever you want to call it. So we look after a range of things, but the key things that are of concern to us at the moment are twofold. One is the survival of our high streets, and there's a piece of work that's going on at the moment, and your engagement in that piece of work will be appreciated to design what our high streets might look like in the future in the context of the changing retail dynamic. The second big thing that we're doing is trying to shift £7.5 million by the 30th of June. We're about £5 million into that mission at the moment, but we do need to shift £2.5 million. I have in the sidebar, Eddie's getting impatient because he wants to return to his basket. Put a link to the grant page where you can check out what the latest things that are available.
What's the time scale on that?
Some of them will expire by next Friday. There's one that expires the following Friday. My key shout out this morning is that I really and urgently now need to contact any major employers. If you are a major employer or you know a major employer that's in the direct supply chain of any closed sector. So let me hypothesize, for example, if you were a specialist in maintaining bar back cellar equipment, refrigeration gear, and you employ 40 or 50 people, and you discovered that your business has absolutely bombed over the last 12 months, and you might need more funding than is available through any of the standard schemes of assistance, get in touch urgently, and we have £1 million to help those major employers who might well be suffering from a problem of that great size.
Thanks, Howard. Really appreciate that, mate. Thanks for coming along. Great to see you engaged actively with the business community. It's really good. Phil Fitzgibbons, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see everybody. Sorry, I was a bit late onto the call today. I had a session just before which was overlapping, so sorry about that.
So tell us a little bit about you and your business. Clearly, I know because you make me jump up and down every Saturday, but let everybody else know.
So I'm Phil. I run a personal training business and a bootcamp business called the Fit Squad Bootcamp. Was supposed to be launching back in November. It was the week after Boris announced the first lockdown. So the launch was unfortunately cancelled back in November. We went online and got to meet some of the wonderful people that are on this call already. And then as of the beginning of April, when the outdoor restrictions kind of got relaxed, we've been over at Damon's Aerodrome doing the outdoor boot camps, having a load of fun. All abilities welcome. It's kind of focusing on getting active, getting outdoors, getting involved within the people within your community and making friends within your community. Not just about causing pain and suffering.
No, it's all in good fun. And just give a quick shout out to your community that you're building on Facebook as well, mate.
So I've got a private Facebook community called the Fit Squad Family. I'll put a link in the chat box as well. So if anyone's interested in meeting some of the community, getting active, getting outdoors, getting involved with boot camps, then take a look at the private Facebook group, see what we've got going on, see videos and pictures of what we've been doing, and see if it might be for you guys.
And you're the only PT I know that takes music requests. I said, can we have a 90s week? And last Saturday we did, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We decided that in the 90s there's quite a lot to answer for on the.
Not all good. Certainly not all good. You need to have a chat with Andy about having a soul and sort of proper music where you go.
I was going to say, I'm sure Andy can point me in the right direction for sure.
Julie Bell, how are you? Is she around? We might have to come to Julie a little bit later because we're short on time. So we'll see whether Julie's around. I think she might be on another call, and I think I've covered off everybody on the call. If not, just make sure you give it a mention in the comments, because happy to make sure that you are covered. So that's all about you. So we've got a really good, wide and diverse range of businesses in the room. And certainly loads and loads and a diverse range of businesses in the community. Tiny bit about me. My name's Chris Dames. The most important job in the world is being a dad. My two girls are 9 and 17. Certainly the job I've probably failed at the most as well, to be honest. I'm still trying to work out how to do that one. But I'm also the director of Savello. We're an independent, directly authorised financial planning business. Been around now for coming up to 11 years in November. Work with clients who are in a position where they're working out what's next in their lives financially. They've built some wealth and we help them work out whether they've got enough to take the next step in their life. I'm a chartered financial planner, the only chartered financial planning firm in Havering. And I'm really proud of the fact that we commit ourselves to professional excellence. That's really important to us. But for us, delivering good financial planning is about being personal, understanding what somebody wants, understanding how we can help them achieve their goals, and demystifying the world of money in a way that makes it less complicated using our expertise. But I also host a podcast. It's a podcast that we launched 3 years ago. I hosted with my daughter, Charlotte, and the remit, and this is the reason why Andy was saying earlier that he's been on the podcast, the only remit of the people coming on the podcast is that they're doing amazing work in the world. I got to a point in my life 3 years ago, we call it an early midlife crisis if you want, but I got to a point in my life where what I wanted to do is make sure that we were sharing stories of people doing amazing work. And certainly there's people on this call who do that. And we've spoke to amazing people over the 3 years. We've just We're just edging towards 100,000 downloads on the podcast, and we've interviewed people from across the world sharing their stories, something that I'm particularly proud of. But let's talk about why we launched Havering Means Business. 10 years ago, I'm starting a business. I'm promised Cassie, who's on the call, and Charlotte, that I'd make it work. But the challenge I had was I was on my own. I was it felt like a lonely place, business ownership. And to be frank, even though I've got an amazing community around me now and a team and people I work with every day, sometimes what I needed was people to bounce ideas off, share ideas, collaborate, work together. I needed a community of business owners. And there's some amazing organisations around Havering that do this already. Janet's involved in the Chamber of Commerce, and there's other networks that do that. But what I have felt Havering needed was a real community, a community of people, business owners and people who worked in business, who actually could support each other, network together, and work together. And we started Havering Means Business as an experiment to see whether it would work or not. And it's grown in scale in terms of where we are now. So we had a few missions. We wanted to create an environment where people can network, talk, meet together, and help each other. We want to make sure people connected. You know, networking's fine, but if we're a business organisation, we want to make sure people connect and collaborate. We want to support growth. We want to make sure that the businesses in our community are growing, because to me, growing means employing people and helping people live better lives. And we want to also be a place where we have the ability to ask questions. As I said earlier on, business ownership can be lonely, but having a community around you, some of whom have gone through some of the challenges you're facing, is super, super valuable. So we want to create that environment where you can ask questions, not only of other fellow business owners, but people who have an influence on your business and your life, and support. We want to be a friendly, kind, good-natured, positive environment where people help and support each other. And certainly my experience, and again, you know, it's the people in the community that make this, not me. My experience is that we've built an environment that that does that and attracts those sort of people. So how are we doing so far? So we started Havering Means Business in October 2020. So we're about sort of coming up to the 9-month mark. We're 677 members on the Facebook group today. My goal is to represent, as an organisation, as a community, 10% of Havering businesses. Depending on who you ask, that works out to either between 950 and 1,050 members by the end of 2021. And we've got a growing number of premium members who are more actively involved in the community, and from what I see, get more value out of the community because they're more actively engaged. And we'll talk about premium membership a little bit later on. We've also got a website now, haveringmeansbusiness.co.uk. What we try and do is really actively showcase our premium members on that website. So the guys at Perfect Layout are showcased front and center on the website. You've got other really attractive people like Phil, and less attractive people like me showcased on the website as well. But the website is a really good hub for our events, members offers, a really growing knowledge bank, and other premium member benefits that we look. So that Facebook group has now moved into a website too. One thing that I always do, both in my sort of commercial business, Savello, and in our community, is really take a look at whether we're doing our job. You know, if we said that we were going to do this back in October, how are we doing on those sort of challenges we set ourselves? So I want to talk a little bit about how we think we're doing. Firstly, let's talk about how we've done in terms of building the network. We've had 189 attendees of our meetings over the past 6 odd months. We've run 12 events. We've had 10 guest speakers. And certainly we've built a community of people who are working together, collaborating and connecting. Certainly, because of the way that we run Havering Means Business, every event we run is streamed live on the Facebook group. That allows you not only to talk to the people in the room, but also talk to everybody who's watching. That's really important for us to do. And it allows Havering Means Business as a really good opportunity to promote your business. I know for a fact that there's real business done in the community. Savello's benefited commercially from us sort of navigating and hosting the community, and I know that we've got some stories coming up that we'll tell you. So I want to quickly pass on to one of our premium members, Julie Wedge from Flower Shed. Julie, can you just share a little bit about what how you've benefited and what you've got from the community so far?
Yeah, no problems. I'm in Havering, so to have a Havering Means Business networking group makes sense, doesn't it? I've been really welcomed into the community, and sometimes I don't feel that I fit in, or I don't deserve to fit in anywhere within certain networking groups, because as far as I have learned, everybody else is more established than me. But what I take from Havering Means Business is that I'm learning from you all. Chris is great. Simon's on the group. He's from East London Business. They started helping me at the beginning of lockdown, where things were going a bit wrong, gave me food for thought. Come into the group. I can just be me. It's so easy just to be me. I've met people from Perfect Layout that have helped me with my copywriting, and that's improved my business. And then last week I had the courage. There you go. That's what Havering Means Business does. It gave me courage, and I contacted Howard Swift from Havering. So it just gives you courage. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And people like you, Julie, make our community. It's amazing what you've done over the past year, and thank you for being part of what we do. I really appreciate it. Carol, can you talk to us about how you're finding the community?
Oh, well, I can promise firstly that Julie and I didn't collaborate on what we were going to say, but it is quite similar because it's just from the heart as well. This is just what Havering needed. There wasn't really anything going on, so this is just so welcome. And yeah, Chris is just so passionate, and I think that passion then just comes into everybody else, that everyone's just so passionate about their businesses and supporting one another. Everyone's so caring, friendly, because I think we can't assume that networking is always friendly. It's definitely not one of those groups where people are going to turn up, try and sell their wares, and then off they go again. Everyone's truly interested in each other. Like Julie mentioned, I was going to mention Simon as well, because just so great to have him as a connection in the group, and we work with him as well. It's just been amazing. And on the light-hearted side of things, if anyone maybe thought that perhaps they don't want to be able to work walk on a Sunday, especially up and downstairs, then Phil can sort that out for you and make sure that you can't walk on Sundays because he's worked you so hard on Saturday. So yeah, just to echo Julie's words, really, it's just, yeah, we love it. And yeah, we can have a joke with each other as well. Mostly at Phil's expense, but we can have a joke together.
I mean, if you're not having a joke at Phil's expense, what's the point? It's just like, we've got to do that. But yeah, certainly, I mean, I think what's happened, and just to echo what Julie and Carol have said, friendly, inclusive, kind community of business owners, regardless of where they are in the journey, designed to support each other and learn from each other. And one of the things that I benefit from the community is just new ideas. Sometimes when you're 10 years in, you need that fresh engagement, and certainly Carol and Julie have been amazingly supportive, not only to the community but to me personally. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. So we've tried to support. One thing that we do for premium members, and we've done this already, is on every meeting we do, we've got an expert in their field talking about their business or what they do. So we've got hours of video already on the website. We've got blogs. We are a community designed to help and get help when you need it. So certainly if there's anybody watching who needs help, we're there to support. And question, you know, when I look at the community and the amount of people we've got in it who are real experts, there's an opportunity, if you've got a challenge in your business, to reach out to other Havering Means Business members and get answers to those questions. It's really good. But also we've got guys like Howard involved, who are really looking to engage with local businesses. I've got a meeting with the MP, Julia, coming up to talk about how we use Havering Means Business to promote businesses in Havering. And I'm really looking to use this as a platform to engage with all sectors and all organisations that have an impact on business in Havering, to make sure that we make the most of it. So what's next? You know, we've done all right in a year or in 9 months, but what's next for Havering Means Business? I'd like to meet some people again. That'd be pretty decent at some point in the future. So we're thinking about venues and we're thinking about live networking events. I think we're going to keep the online ones moving forward, but certainly something we'll do. One thing we've got sort of on the cards is looking at who we can interview as experts in their field to share with the community. And certainly if you're an expert within the Havering Means Business community and you'd like to be interviewed, or you know an expert who you think might add value to the Havering Means Business community, give us a shout and we'll take a look at potentially looking at interviews. Certainly we're going to be looking at either an online or offline business expo to promote Havering Means Business members in the future. Maybe awards in the future, but certainly not this year, but maybe in the future. But fundamentally, it's not about what we want. We're a community of business owners and business leaders. I want to hear from you so that we can build this community in the way that works best for you. So reach out, make sure you're talking to us, make sure we're building it in a way that supports businesses in Havering, please. That'd be amazing. So just to be clear, you know, Havering Means Business, most members are free members of the organisation, and what you get for that, if you log into the website, you don't get this automatically if you're a free member, but if you log into the website, you get a basic listing on the Havering Means Business members directory. You'll receive our regular Havering Means Business updates to tell you what's going on in the Havering business community, and you get the opportunity to post on the Facebook group. For now, we're getting to a point where we will be making that at some point in the future exclusive to premium members, because just managing the scale of the amount of posts we're getting at the minute is becoming increasingly time consuming and difficult. So if you're a free member now, you can post. We will be reserving that for premium members at some point in the future. But let's talk about potentially becoming an enhanced member. So free members, as I said, get a post on the directory. But if you're a premium member, you get an enhanced post on the website. Certainly, we've got plenty of businesses who have taken advantage of that. Premium members get access to all of our networking events offline for free. Non-premium members who do attend pay about £9 to attend each meeting. And also what we've done on the Havering Means Business website is have an offers page where premium members can offer other members of the community a discount, and it gives an opportunity to showcase your business. So you get to benefit from others and post your own opportunities. And we've also got Havering Means Learning. Because I've been in business for a little while now, what I've tried to do is curate guest speakers for our meetings who are experts in customer engagement, communication, We've got Fiona, who's a fellow financial planner. We want experts to come on, and every single presentation that we've ever run on Havering Means Business is available on the learning platform. So what I'm going to do today is just make you an offer. Our pricing currently for premium membership is that it depends on the size of the business in terms of where you are. Just to be clear, guys, I don't, this isn't my main revenue source. I'm not worried about Havering Means Business as a revenue source, but what I want to do is make sure that we focus more time on the businesses that are really engaged with the community, and premium membership allows us to work out who that is. But our offer to you, if you're not a premium member at the moment, is any business, any size, and we're doing premium membership for £199 for the next 12 months or £20 per month, and that's available on the website now. We're keeping it open for 10 days, and then it's going to go back to standard membership. So certainly if you did want to get involved, you can do that. And then I'm just keen in the last few minutes to answer any questions about the community, about what we're up to, about what we think the future is going to look like. So have we got any questions? That's a no. That's great. I've stunned everybody into silence. I think that's interesting. Okay, good stuff. So what we're going to do, we've got 7 minutes left. So one thing we always do on the Havering Means Business normal meetings is do wins of the week. So I'm going to have to hand pick here. So I'm going to hand pick premium members to talk about their wins of the week, to share what their experience is with the community and what's going on in their business. So let's start with Sharon. Sharon, talk to me a little bit about Sharon Brower. Talk to me a little bit about your big win of the week.
I think my big win of the week's got to be getting all my clients' VAT returns done. It seems to be such a mission this week.
Yeah, and is it all done, or have you got a few people outstanding?
I have one more to finish.
Good.
And that will be done very soon.
Amazing. All right, well, great stuff. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of the community. Simon, talk to me about your big win.
My big win of the week is meeting up with a client who I signposted to a discretionary grant and possibly how to get involved with Havering Council, and Howard came back. The guy's got the piece of equipment that he wants. He's a happy bunny, very impressed by the support that he's been given. So, from our perspective, a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and actually, I think like when you're looking at business, it's got to be a win all round, doesn't it? If somebody's losing, it just doesn't work.
Indeed, indeed.
Steve Chilton, talk to me about your big win of the week.
My big win of the week, I think, is a facility that has been bubbling away in the background, which we're just going live with at the end of this week, which is a new commercial motor insurer. And we're only one of 12 brokers nationwide that have got access to this facility directly with the insurer. They'll deal with wholesale markets, but as an independent and a direct relationship means that out of the 10,000 plus insurance brokers out there, we've got a facility that obviously very few people have access to. So it will be good going into what is a hardening market, having a facility that no one else has got. So
amazing. Yeah, it's really good. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Ian Brazier, talk to me about your big win.
Big win this week is getting the website live.
Yes, big win.
Yeah,
it looks good as well, mate. I look.
Yeah, cheers. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that.
Yeah. So do you want to give it a quick shout out so the community can take a look?
Yeah, the website is www.ibray.com. It's built with support from Kathy Ennis and Emma Good, and it uses L4 as the theme. So brilliant piece of kit, and love using it.
Amazing stuff. That's great. Carol, I didn't think we'd have time for wins of the week, but as nobody wants to ask me a question, we have. So it's over to you.
As those of you who've been here before know, I get very excited about wins of the week, and they usually vary. But yeah, we've had a big garden care company come on board this week. That's a pretty big order for us. So yeah, really pleased about that one. And just, yeah, and it's all of it points towards all that spring and summer's coming. The weather has to warm up eventually, doesn't it? So
you know what? For natural optimists like us, I think we find the opportunity to find wins anywhere, but certainly it feels that way, doesn't it? That's really good. Julie, talk to me about what you've told us your win, the wedding. Tell everybody about the wedding.
Well, it's my biggest wedding to date. So that's my biggest win, and they want me to do the installation work, which would be amazing.
Great stuff. Phil, what's your big win?
For me, I just think it's week on week. I think as we're, big win has actually so far been managing to avoid every single shower for the week with the boot camp.
There's always tomorrow, mate.
Although tomorrow it looks impossible. So I think tomorrow the win of the week will be getting us through a nice session in the rain and keep you having fun. That will be the win of the week.
Amazing, good stuff. Tracy from Perfect Layout, what's your big win?
I think it's bigging up Howard and Havering Council again, actually. We've had a client that's come to us who's won the grant and she's been able to get lots of services from us. So we're really happy and she's really happy. Great stuff.
That's really good. I'm pleased that connection's working out. Should we give Cassie a chance, as Savello are premium members as well? What's our big win, Cass?
I don't know. This today has been quite good because I know, as you've said before, Russell was really nervous, and I haven't heard from him for a while. I'm assuming he's still alive.
Well, he might be having to lay down, mightn't he? He might be having a rest.
Maybe I'll be having to lay down. But yeah, just the fact that we are still really busy. We've got some really, really lovely clients that we're working with at the moment. 2 big pieces of work that I can see the finish line for, that we've had with us for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything's just really positive at the moment.
Yeah, all good. And funny enough, we've won some big contracts with some large Havering employers recently, which is
yeah, I did mention that in our breakout room. We've managed to bag ourselves a couple of really, really good new clients in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, all good, all good. So that is bang on 11:30. I didn't think I'd managed to get round everybody in time. Thank you for joining today. Hopefully it's been useful and it's been a bit of an insight in terms of what we're trying to build with the Havering Means business community. I hope you have a really amazing Friday and a lovely weekend. And I look forward to seeing you on the Havering Means business community soon. See you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.